Hey dudes, in this episode we are going to be doing some sorting. It's TheeRealDuke, and it's all happening right now. What is going on, dudes? It is TheeRealDuke, and I'm coming to you from the Craftage Minecraft Survival Multiplayer server, doing some vanilla multiplayer Minecrafting. How you guys doing? You guys doing all right? Guys having a good week? Had a good week. Hopefully the weekend's gonna be good for you too. As we watch these lovely repeaters. So we are out, way out over the ocean, where it's too dark for my likes, for my tastes, and so with some of the updates coming up, we're going to be able to trade a lot more things. I have no idea why there's chicken in there, but we're going to be able to trade a lot more things with some villagers. And as you can see in these chests, we have piles of junky messes, which I'm not necessarily a fan of, though I cannot avoid because I am not, not naturally an organized person, but we can do what we can do to get some organization to happen, and that's what I wanted to work on today. I was talking with a couple dudes from InfiniteHeights earlier in the week, and we got talking about sorting and sorting systems and things like that. Able to do them in vanilla. And they were kind of saying some of the things that I felt when I was first looking for videos about how to make these things, which basically, I think if you're not good at redstone, which I don't believe that I am, if you're not good at redstone, it might be kind of a difficult endeavor. It seems very complicated, but now that I've done it a bunch of times, I feel like I'm good with it, and I feel like I can understand it, and therefore explain it in a way where somebody that might not be good at redstone might be able to understand a little bit more easily than if it was, a video from one of the super redstone wizards that already kind of know what they're talking about. So I think I bring a little bit of a different perspective to that. So I kind of wanted to take this opportunity because I need one, and some people thought it might be cool if I made a little toot about it. So we're going to give it a shot. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and build a sorter. Build the first sorting station right here. And then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about it. And I'll explain it. We'll break it down into pieces, and then I will complete this array. So we'll have all the items sorting that we need to do, and then we'll come back and take a look. Sound good? Good. Okay, so this took just a second. You see it's still the same night. Still the same night. Just took a second to build. It's easy once you get the hang of it. Just clearing some extraneous blocks out of the way. So this is what it looks like from the side. This is it. This is an entire sorting system. It's this hopper, these 5 wool blocks. They can be whatever blocks you want. They have to be solid blocks. They can't be transparent blocks because you have to put repeaters, and they have to carry redstone current. And then a chest. Now you can actually tile this system, like stack it right on top of it, just like next to each other, if you alternate these chests between regular and trap chests so that you can have them all in a line. Now I prefer double chests because they store more because a double chest is twice as big. But let's get into how this works, and I'm going to show you how it works with a demonstration. Now, the actual technical filter part of it is right here. It's this hopper, okay? Let me punch it with something so I don't break it with my pick. So, what you need to do is remember how hoppers work. They pull items from left to right in that order. So, they won't pull any items from spot number 2 if there's still things in spot number 1. So what we do is we're going to fill the last 4 spots with some junk. Now what I always use is crafting tables because I know I will never sort crafting tables. Now I could use anything I know that I'm not trying to sort, because if you try and sort it, it's going to get pulled through, and it'll make more sense in 1 second. So what I do is I smear those there, okay? And actually, let me remove them. Okay. I want you to keep an eye on... Now, this block is selected here, but there's a comparator right there. Can you see it? Crap. There's a comparator right there pointing out of the magical filter one, okay? And I want you to watch it as I'm loading items into... Okay, watch that right there as I'm loading items into here, okay? Ready? Do you see it light up? You take it out. Nothing. See it light up? Boom. Okay, so that's where the magic is happening. So I'm gonna put junk in here. And then I'm gonna put whatever I want to sort in here. In this one right here. Okay? So this one we're gonna make a gunpowder one. So I'm gonna put a bunch in there. And now you can see them flowing out. Now watch what happens. It's going to take a second. But watch what happens. Did you see it stop? Okay, so right here, there's a torch, a redstone torch, okay? There's a redstone torch here. Now I want you to pay attention to that torch. I'm going to take some of these back out. Okay, that torch is now powering this hopper. When you power a hopper, it closes the hopper, so it can't receive or dispense anything, okay? So pay attention to that. Okay, see, it's on right now, so nothing can flow out of here because it can't go anywhere because the hopper below it is closed. So watch this redstone torch here when I add one more gunpowder. Watch what happens. Oh, did you see a flash? Watch it again. It'll flash. Look. Did you see it? It flashes and it lets one more item through. So go ahead and keep an eye on it. And I'm going to put in just a couple more here and watch. It's off. There it goes. Watch. When it gets to 18, boom. Back on again. So that is how it works. That is it. That explains. That's where the magic happens in the system. Now, the hoppers above it all point in that direction. They do not point directly down. Okay, we need to keep this chain going. If they point directly down, then it's all just going to dump straight into here. And this will just clog up and back up, okay? So we need to keep the chain all pointed in that direction. All pointed in that direction. And they will drop into the first available one if they can. So the only space to put things in here is if... The only way things can actually flow into this hopper are if they're a crafting table or a gunpowder. If they can't go, if they're not, I mean, the game can't put stone slabs on the gunpowder. It can't put, you know, or a better example might be arrows. You can't, there's no space to put, like, where would you put an arrow in here? Crafting table's not an arrow. Gunpowder is not an arrow. So because it can't fit anything in here, it's going to keep going. And it's just going to keep going down the chain until it finds a spot for it to go or it gets to the end of the chain. Does that make sense? It is super simple, very clever design. I didn't come up with this design, but this is how it works. So right now, there are some things inside the hopper, and this comparator is telling us that there are some things inside the hopper. Not very many things, and so it's only spitting out one block worth of charge here. You see that? So when we get more things inside this hopper, the charge is going to increase to 2. And when it increases to 2, from down here, you can see what happens. This is a repeater set to 2 ticks, and the 2 ticks just allows there to only be one thing. Usually there's no things, but only one thing stuck in here instead of 2 things or 3 things or 4 things. Set that to 2. Because this is a delay in turning this on or off. And if we keep it, if there's no delay in turning this on, then this is going to pull too many items through. I'm sorry, if there's a delay, okay, and the delay is too long, this is going to keep sucking items through, and it might suck too many items through. And if it's not long enough, it won't let anything pass. Okay, so 2 is for the survival multiplayer server we're on right now. 2 works. It might be different on your server, so you might have to screw around with this if you're not doing it in single player. But when this charge goes from here, goes from 1 to 2, this can now pull current from this block, from this redstone. That shuts off this torch and opens this gate up. And that's all there is to it. Okay, so let's take it from the top one more time, and I'll explain it to you. Piece of cake. All right. So here is the magical hopper. This is the magical gate. Okay. This hopper has a comparator pointing out of it, and the comparator gives a signal that is as long proportionally as full as this hopper is. Okay, so if this hopper is a little full, it'll put out a signal of strength 1. If it's a little bit more full, it'll put out signal strength of 2 or 3 maybe. The more full this gets, the longer the signal, the stronger the signal that the comparator puts out. Okay, so for right now, we have 22 items in here. And for 22 items, this puts out a signal strength of 1. More than 23, and it puts out a signal strength of 2. Now, the hoppers above it are all pointing in that direction, and they will drop things as soon as they can. But the only things they can drop in here, because this hopper's full, the only thing they can drop in here is either gunpowder or crafting tables, and because mobs don't drop crafting tables yet, there's nothing they can drop in here. Now, why don't the items just flow out of here? Well, there's a hopper below, and this hopper is locked, with this redstone torch. Now, if we unlock this hopper, then items will flow from the filter hopper in order from left to right. Okay, so if we can turn this torch off based upon the number of items in this hopper, and we know it can only accept 1 of 2 items, crafting tables, which are not possible because they're not mob drops, and gunpowder, which are the only things that would come out of the mob grinder here for us to be able to sort out of these 2 items. Obviously, other items come out of mob grinders. You know what I'm talking about. If we could just use that, okay, to shut this off, then we're golden. And so what we do is we connect that comparator, and all we're doing is, and it seems silly, but all we're doing, it looks maybe complicated here with this mess, but all we're doing is looping the signal from this around to back underneath. That's why it's shaped like this. We're just taking the signal. When it gets from 1 to 2, it can now be pulled from this block by this repeater and pushed into this block to turn this torch off, and that'll open the floodgates, and that is it. Now, if you guys have any questions about how this works or anything like that, totally leave me a line in the comments. What I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this up. I'm going to throw up some signs, and it's going to be totally sweet, and then I will show you the finished product when we're done. Be right back. So all I did was I have the same design. I have them side by side. I put double chests, trap double chests next to regular double chests so that I could fit them right next to each other. And in the back, it's this same design. I just have it every other one. So I didn't put the items to be filtered in yet. I will soon. I just wanted to show you back here before I closed it all off. And we did a little bit of a test. Alright, so this is it. I mean, it's the same exact design. I didn't switch these all to 2 ticks yet. Don't forget to do this. If you're having problems with your hoppers or with your sorter, okay, check things in the following order. First thing you check is make sure your hoppers are pointed in the correct direction. The top row has to be pointed along the direction you want the items to flow. No exceptions. The second row cannot be pointed into the hopper below, and if you have them right on top of each other, they cannot be pointed into each other in a row like this. So in other words, if I only had a single chest here, where the system would work, and then I put a single chest, and then I put a single trap chest here, I could have another one here, okay? If I have this one here, this row above cannot be pointed in the same direction like this one, or else that won't work either. So don't do that either, okay? They have to be pointed. I point them, just so I remember, I have my chain across the topmost row all pointing in the same direction, and I have all of the other hoppers in the whole system pointed forward. That's just how I do it. I remember, that way I know one of them is pointed in here, and the other one isn't pointed in a direction it shouldn't be pointed. Does that make sense? So do not point them straight down. It will not work that way, because how hoppers handle items in a chain is differently when they're pointed in a different direction. So don't do that. Okay. The next thing to check is that your redstone is hooked up correctly. It's just 2 pieces of redstone. And this torch has to be pointed up here. So make sure that's correct. And then if it's still not working, this is your guy right here. Mess with the timing. The timing could be what is screwing you up. And if I'm having problems, that's the order I check it in. And that's usually the easiest way to figure out the fix. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, start with that. Go in that order. And if that's still not working, if something is still happening, you know, video response me, baby. Let me know in the comments if you have any other questions about that, if you can't get it working. So I'm going to polish this up, and then we'll see the finished product in 1 second, and then we'll test it out. Make sure it works. Okay, so we are at about 98% complete here. I'm underneath, and the total number of potential drops from these guys is greater than the number of sorters that I have, primarily because of the witches. Now, the witches don't really drop very many times and die. They don't spawn as often, so I don't get as many drops from them. But in the future, because they drop, what do they drop? Sugar. I think they drop sugar, glowstone, gunpowder, redstone, sticks, bottles, empty bottles, and sometimes potions. So that would be like at least 6 or 7 just for witch drops, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for all of them. So what I did with the last 2 is I disengaged the lock, and so there are no blocks in the filter hopper for these 2, and the gate hopper is not locked closed by a redstone torch, so they just flow open. So anything that's not one of those things, like that I'm not trying to sort up here, which we'll head up there in 1 second. Anything that's not one of the things I'm not trying to sort up there. Anything that's like maybe a bow. Each bow that a skeleton would drop, if it has a different amount of damage done to it, then it's actually counted as a different bow in the game. You can't stack them anyway. So you know those kinds of things. Those will all go in these. Basically, we're gonna call these overflow or junk chests. So here we go. Not too shabby, huh? Not too bad. We did all right. So I did decide, just because I had a couple bottles over in the thing, to do this. We haven't had any collect yet. I put some redstone in there. We do have some redstone. Got a couple of bones. We got a couple of arrows. We got a couple rotten fleshes, and we have no gunpowder. I took it all out from here so we can test it. So let's go over here. What's that XP from? Oh, what's up, buddy? Well, if he dropped the gunpowder, it would be in here. She did not, it appears, which is fine. Hey, that happens. That's all right. Actually, what we should do is, where's my axe? Let's break this. Crap's gonna go flying everywhere. No, it won't. Okay. This one it will. Yep. All right. So I'm just gonna start. You know what? Matter of fact, there's no spiders falling from here. So spider eyes are also dropped by witches. Holy crap! They drop so many things. So those are just gonna go into the junk chest. But let's just start dumping what we got here. So dump those. What else? Arrows. We'll throw the chicken in there and see what happens to the chicken. These goes in here. Let's throw some of this. Some feathers. Do I have a thing for feathers? Why would I? How do chickens keep spawning in all my stuff? It's ridiculous. Whatever. So let's throw some sugar in there. Some more arrows. So it's going to take a while for all this stuff to drain. And that's cool, but boom. Boomski. Yep. It is banging on all cylinders right now. We didn't get anything over here. What about in these? All the stuff that doesn't fit will fall in here. Did we get anything? Here come the feathers. These are things that are not sorted in the sorter, so these are junk chests, and this is where all the junk is gonna go. So it's working. What do you guys think? It's not too hard once you get the basic idea down. once you get the basics down, it is not that hard to figure out. You can totally do it. You are totally capable of doing it. If you're not sure, a little fuzzy on something, just go ahead, rewind the video, pause it at a spot if you need to. Do what you gotta do. Ask any questions you might have in the comments, but that is it for this episode. I hope you dudes enjoyed watching. I hope you found this useful. I hope you have an awesome, massive sorter system in your place. You should know, though, on survival multiplayer servers, hoppers cause a little bit of lag. And if you put item frames for like 1,000,000 different items there, that's going to cause some lag, too. So item frames are pretty nasty like that. Anyway, do check out my YouTube channel for other Let's Builds and Infinite Heights server contest videos. Head over to the Infinite Heights forums at InfiniteHeightsMC.com. Join me, my builds, and the cool dudes over there. We got a live stream every Friday night, usually every Friday night, when we do some server hosting videos, server contest videos. We do some judging events and things like that, so definitely check it out. Join in and join the contest too. Join the competitions. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. I do truly appreciate every single view, comment, like, and sub. Thank you so much for watching, dudes. It's TheeRealDuke, and I'm out.